Good morning. 30 seconds till it's good afternoon. Today's lesson is, might actually feel bumpy, but it's really intense to deal with our past week, particularly like what I was dealing with my past week, which is how the angels began to deliver this lesson. So in about a minute here, we're going to begin with the opening prayer. I'm going to introduce the teachers who are here. The angels are here, and they actually may interrupt me, which might make it feel bumpy, to deliver some messages. We'll call it editing. They may do some editing, live editing. To open, if a small number of people, that's us, gather lovingly together, with absolute purity and sanctity, with our hearts free of the world, experiencing the emotions of the kingdom and the powerful magnetic forces of the divine, and being at one in their happy fellowship, that gathering will exert its influence over all the earth. The nature of that band of people, us, the words they speak, the deeds they do, will unleash the bestowals of heaven and provide a foretaste of eternal bliss. Sacred writings. Now, like our usual, we want to center ourselves. This is a little bit different than what we've done before because I really am asking you to be engaged in the process as this information is delivered so that you leave the messages transforming or transmuting the experience of where you've been this week. And I'll do a little explaining about that too on my own. But we're going to take 3 deep breaths, but I want you to do them. Let's not make them obnoxious. But what we want to do is I want to make sure you're breathing through your nasal passages and exhaling through your lips. So through this whole next 30 minutes, please keep your lips slightly parted so that as you're breathing, you are breathing in and you're breathing out. You're exhaling detritus, concerns, greatness, fog, whatever we want to call that, as you are working on the proposition that's presented to us today by the angels, okay? And then what I'd like you to do right now is, please, again, I know that some of you'd actually use your phone to visit or to view the video, but what I'd like you to do is make sure it's on mute and it's not going to distract you as I'm delivering the words of the teachers, okay? So make sure it's on mute or vibrate. And then what I'd like you to do is, with your eyes closed, I'd actually like you to put your attention on your crown chakra, and actually I want you to go to your hair. Yes, your hair, the cells of your hair. And I want you to feel them on your head, and actually begin to feel the tingling at the root of your hair. Yes, each and every hair, as it's opening up your crown chakra to allow in the divine message for today. Then move down to your forehead and actually start raising and lowering your eyebrows. Raising and lowering your eyebrows. Get rid of that frown line in your forehead that's delivering a message all in its own. Release and relax that third eye. Relax and release that third eye. And then as you come down to your face, relax the muscles in your face. Behind your eyes, outside your eyes, below your eyes. Actually do that in a breath. Your cheekbones. Relax those muscles in your face. Be with us with a smile of affinity. Let's all join each other, even though we don't see each other, with a smile of affinity. And relax that jaw. Again, keeping it slightly open so as you're exhaling, air is coming between your lips, okay? Thank you. Now, Spirit, flow through us. Touch our hearts. Guide us along the path to my fulfillment. Dominant hand on your heart. Spirit, flow through us. Touch our hearts. Guide us along our path of fulfillment. So today's teachers who are present, and as I said, may interrupt. The teachers are Angel Raziel, Angel Metatron, Lord Michael, and Mother Mary's here. And I'm going to give you a little background on them so that you know them. What they're here for is that Angel Raziel, who's also, I call him our master teacher for our Thursday circle, is creating the foundation. He has something he's asked me to deliver to you, to create foundation. Angel Metatron is here because he wants you to understand and appreciate the process of utilizing your spiritual beingness to ease the pain and suffering of the emotional being, especially in this past week or so. And Mother Mary's here because she's assurance and she's insurance. She's insurance. She's here to sustain us in whatever part of the process we're in, whether we complete it by the end of messages or not. And we have Lord Michael here for protection. So as we allow ourselves to rest and relax inside this 35 minutes and be open to the messages, he's here to protect your space, protect my space, so that all the good, we make accessible to ourselves. Allow it in. Allow it in, folks. Okay? Now, who is this Raziel and Metatron? I have notes. These are taken from a book that was given to me by a friend called Angel Blessings, and it's been produced, and the pictures in it are beautiful people, by Kimberly Moroney, Mooroney. So this is where I take the information, and you'll get as we go into lessons why this is so on point. Angel Raziel. The name Raziel actually means God is my pleasure. A Hebrew tradition tells us that soon after Adam was driven from the Garden of Eden, he experienced illness. Raziel gave Adam a book listing all the medicinal herbs that could cure every possible illness. See how much we're loved? Even before illness manifested, the cure was reached. This shows us that knowledge, caring, and health are the goals of creation. And Raziel, Angel Raziel, inspires us to find pleasure in knowing God. Ease in body, physical wellness. Raziel is deeply involved with us, bringing the knowledge we seek when we encounter certain mysteries on our spiritual path. These mysteries range from finding the cause of a personal illness or self-destructive behavior to having the desire to access and understand universal truths. That's what and who Raziel is and what he stands for. And that's what he provides us when we're working on ourselves in our circle on Thursdays. Metatron. Metatron was a human. I think one of two angels who was human before becoming an angel. Metatron is head of the archives of the Secretary of God. Hebrew legends say that he was not always an angel, but was once a man known as Enoch. According to this account, Enoch walked with and was taken up by God. In other words, he did not die. Metatron supervises special archives called the Akashic Records, where all of our thoughts and deeds are recorded upon an impressionable and highly sensitized screen of mental essence. Our attitudes perpetually create our current life experiences as well as our future. It is not enough to just try to think happy thoughts. The objective is to clear the mind of false beliefs so that it may now receive truth. You were born to express your unique version of God. But before you learn to connect with your truth, you function from the surface mind under the influence of automatic reactions. You act because of emotions, environmental conditions, body sensations, body reactions, cultural beliefs, and prejudice. As you learn to live upward, your eternal self fills you up with awareness, seeking to reunite you in love and freedom. That's Metatron. And you're going to be able to understand what his contributions are as we move through this. So those are the two angels, and we all know Michael. So Michael, who is here for protection. The intention of today's message. Today's message is to recover. This has been a really super soupy week. To recover ourselves, to sustain ourselves. And in this place today, to get present. Own what's going on with our bodies. Own what our reactions are. Be open to the truth of it. Be authentic. and allow in grace. That's the intention of today's message. The theme, all great changes are preceded by chaos. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hear the song from Ronnie. I'm putting it here because it's our pep song. It's our pep song. So we're going to hear from Ronnie right now before I go into the content. And then there is deep content that's been presented to me.
This song is called All About You. It's a gospel tune. Anita Wilson does a wonderful job with it. Take a listen if you have a chance on YouTube. I see the sunrise over the horizon, and I'm grateful for another day. Because of your love, I can face any challenge comes my way. Only in you I live, I move, and I have my being. I surrender my will to yours. Make me who I am in you. In Christ I can do all things. It really doesn't matter if the enemy tries to harm me, 'cause no weapon formed will be able to prosper. I will let my light so shine, so everyone can see not me, but he who started a good work in me, he shall complete it. I will pursue what pleases you. I will follow through, 'cause I realize it's all about you. I will pursue what pleases you. Do what you tell me to, 'cause I realize it's all about you. Oh, I tried to find my own way through this maze. Thought I could make it to my place of destiny. But then I thought as you stood naked in humility. Now I clearly see, without you there's no me. Christ can do all things. It really doesn't matter if the enemy tries to harm me, 'cause no weapon formed will be able to prosper. I will let my light so shine, so everyone can see not me, but he who started a good work in me, he shall complete it. I will pursue what pleases you. I will follow through, 'cause I realize it's all about you. I will pursue what pleases you. Do what you tell me to, 'cause I realize it's all about you. I will pursue what pleases you. I will follow through, 'cause I realize all about you. I will pursue what pleases you. Do what you tell me to, 'cause I realize it's all about you. All about you.
So always knowing that Christ stands beside us as a teacher, our healer, our commitment to live out fully the life we prescribed for ourselves before we were born. And many out there are committed to being a master, a mystic, maybe even a saint. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, who works on a lot of, I'm going to say, the scientific way of approaching enlightenment and transformation, actually says here, do not be seduced by whatever triggers your program. Do not be seduced by whatever triggers your program. And there's a lot that's happened this week. And I'm going to just use myself right now because I've been through this process. The angels took me through this so that I could really deliver this to you. And it was painful. It was painful. It was a week that actually began with pain on 2 Thursday mornings at 1:30, exact same time, in my lower gut. Those first 3 force centers. The base, the sacral, and the solar plexus. And when I did all and followed up through all the false cause stuffs from taking pain pills and Tylenol and Pepto-Bismol, and when I actually let go of all the false cause and actually was with my energy, I began to see I was being impacted by the news of the day and how much I had gotten myself enticed into tracking it and keeping this information. But it was a weepy week. It was an unhappy week. It was a week where I went through blaming certain people in my lives for why I felt that way, until the angels actually began to reveal certain pieces to me, and they having me deliver those pieces to you the way they delivered them to me, because we have the power. Because the good news is we all have a program. It kind of equalizes us, right? We all have a program. The great news, we're the programmers. We're the programmers. The trouble is we were under 6 when we designed the program, and we're still dealing with it. So the context for the message today, the soup. There's a lot of soup. There's a lot of stuff happening out there. A lot of stuff. And so, Raziel wanted me to distinguish for you what he saw as the soup. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to find my first handout. The soup. The glorification of busy will destroy us. Without space for healing, without time for reflection, without an opportunity to surrender, we risk a complete disconnect from the authentic self. We burn out on the fuels of willfulness and eventually cannot find our way back to center. And when we lose contact with our core, we are also ripe for the picking by the unconscious media and other market forces and other external forces. After all, consumerism preys on the uncentered. The further we are from our intuitive knowing, the more easily manipulated we are by all of these forces, the political commentary, the actual handling with the difficulties of these closures epidemics offered us. And the more easily manipulated we are, the more likely we are to make the decisions and affix to goals that don't serve our healing and our transformation. To combat this, we have to form the conscious intention to prioritize our inner lives, to notice our breath, our bodies, our feelings, to step back from the fires of overwhelm and remember ourselves. It may feel counterintuitive in a culture that is speed addicted, but the slower we move, the faster we return home. And I noticed for myself, dealing with this soup, this actual physical attacks actually felt on my body, that I had to stay with it. That's all I knew. Friends, that's all I knew. I had to stay with it. And I had to trust the teachers who are with us. Wisdom comes from watchfulness, not by study, but by awareness, not by concentration, but by meditation. One has to be just open to this infinite splendor called life. One has to be open to the earth and to the sky. One has to be open to everything, each and everything, without judgment. Without judgment. That is how one is to be open. Without judgment, then wisdom comes. Now, Metatron offered the information. He directed me to the Coltrane Bible. And so we're going to read this, because this is what he considers. I don't know the recipe, but this is what he considers from the books important for us to know to set our foundation. Chapter 22, The Good Religion. This is not a recipe for salvation, nor a formula for blind belief. It is not a matter of doctrine alone, and dogmatic belief must not be rigidly imposed. The loyalty and unity are certainly to be expected from those who follow its light. The good religion is not so much a belief in doctrine as a way of living. It is the way of life of a company of kindred spirits, headed for the same destination and all sharing the same adventure, with its hazards and excitement, all seeking the best road together. It is not a religion of gloom and despair. It does not seek to placate or coerce any being, for it serves a divinity above such things. It is not a religion reveling in servility and meekness. Instead, it seeks to reveal the greatness of man. It is a religion of joy and hope, of high ideals and aspirations. It adheres to the highest principles of truth, justice, and goodness. It aspires to the greatest good of all, for all of mankind, and believes in the sanctity of life, love, and family. It hallows earth and home. It is a practical religion, teaching the doctrine of evolving betterness. It establishes a standard for men and women to live by, which will make them better men and women, and permit them to live in peace and harmony with others. It values the qualities of courage, audacity, fortitude, and steadfastness. It upholds the virtues of modesty, patience, purity, and gentleness. It is not a religion of undue restraint or narrow dogma. And it does not believe in the futile mortification of the body. It takes full regard of men and women as twofold beings and maintains the dignity of the mortal as well as the spiritual body. It makes no empty promises of salvation or redemption, and it's not founded upon a system of indulgences, rewards, or promises. It expounds the principles of personal responsibility, personal obligation, personal effort. Its prime objectives are in the carrying out of the divine design and the services of mankind to mankind. It is a religion to be lived and not just believed in. It demands to be expressed in deeds and not in words, in beneficial action and not in blind conformity. It is more interested in bringing out the hidden good than in outward display and pomp. The good religion concerns itself with whatever is necessary for the unfolding of the Spirit, and its aim is to spur us, we men and women, upward toward divinity. The purpose of a religion is to serve, and it cannot be that. It cannot do this properly by concentrating on spiritual matters alone, for it also has the obligation of setting a moral standard. A worthwhile religion cannot permit itself to be shouted out from the highest tops, to be shut out from an everyday life. If it does so, it is undeserving of its status. It must concern itself with the way men and women live, with the conduct of their daily affairs, with their relationship with one another. Religion is not man's response to outward and external conditions. It's man's response to his existence in earthly conditions and the answer to the challenge of his environment and these external forces. Therefore, it is in religion that we find the most satisfactory outlet for our feelings and the best way of expressing our inner yearnings. The soundless, insistent voice of the divine calls out to man from the depths of his being, and that which guides and directs him towards it is called religion. The divine is hidden from men and women, veiled behind the firmament. And this separation, this feeling of being cut off, is the source and basis of religion. The divine in man, fire and spark, now sundered apart, crave to be united. And this craving expresses itself as religion. These are the good words, the text, and the foundation that Metatron is sending us to know that there is a plan. We have access to the plan. And if we operate from our mind, coming from it's a thought, whether it's a resolution to a problem, we'll miss the whole point. We'll miss the whole point. What's available? Source. Source is available. Begin with a prayer for willingness. A prayer for willingness. I offered up a prayer for being willing to uncover the source of my pain, no matter what truth I would face. Being open to whatever the lesson was. So first, just be willing. Be willing to say, I trust, I give this over to you. Please transmute it or transform it and bring it back to me with ease and grace, that I can offer it to my forward movement. That was my prayer every morning as I kept dealing with it. And I actually embraced and allowed Mother Mary to embrace me. She was like my parachute, because she brought me down to a soft landing. Soft landing. A prayer for willingness. Always available source who simply requires our willingness to manifest in our behalf. The always available source who simply requires our willingness to manifest in our behalf. We notice that often when we ask for direction, we are invited to step outside our comfort zone to face the next challenge. Though the summons may threaten our programming, opinions, and beliefs, willingness, which precludes procrastination, aligns us with divine order. And divine order surfaces. And as we agree to move forward, a door opens to greater expression of divine potential and rewarding life experience, into greater understanding of self and freedom and love. Our journey into self always requires us to face the mirror of life, revealing shadow aspects of our human personality, aspects which have determined our choices, albeit most often unconsciously. But let us look them in the eye and affirm our willingness to release these misheld energies into the light, set free from their bondage. When they are set free from their bondage, we become available to answer our calling. We can claim our vocation, and we can do passionate work in Christ's name. We pray that each time as we venture into new territory, we are graced with willingness and courage to trust divine guidance and to proceed in faith. Let us remember that willingness to show up, be present, tell the truth, and not be attached to outcome is a choice to be made every minute. Every minute. And so may we approach each experience with calm assurance and compassion, to love ourselves and to support others in their quest for personal growth and spiritual awareness. Let us always be willing to quiet and listen to Spirit's guidance as we make the journey home, fulfilling on the sacred journey of life we authored for ourselves, we prescribed for ourselves before we authored and birthed ourselves into this life. Let us always be willing to quiet ourselves and listen for Spirit's guidance as we make the journey home. So, in our closing prayer, as Think Not Harm said, go back and take care of yourself. Your body needs you. Your feelings need you. Your perceptions need you. Your suffering needs you to acknowledge it. Go home and be there for all these things. So as both of the angels said, the problem is not now, it's not how to have a strong character. This is a quote from Osho. The problem is not how to attain no anger, how not to be disturbed. No, that is not the problem. The problem is how to change your consciousness from the periphery to the center. Suddenly you see that you have always been calm. And then you can look at the periphery. You can be there, but from a distance. And the distance is so vast, infinite. You can actually watch it as if it's not happening to you. In fact, it never happens to you. Even when you are completely lost in it, it never happens to you. Something in you remains undisturbed. Something in you remains beyond. Something in you remains a witness. Osho. Go back to your core. And as you're impacted, and there'll be more noise. We're going to have a lot of noise as we, especially here in the U.S., are delivering to the public all this stuff about our upcoming election. But the world, the globe is still dealing with the pandemic. The world and these countries are still dealing with economic loss that translates into the personal suffering of every man, woman, and child on this planet and for a future generation. We have work to do. So witness the noise, but don't be part of it. Be of the world, but not in it. And the body is the vector, folks. The body is the vector. If there's pain, if there's pain, physical pain in your body, make sure you coordinate it. Like what force center is it most correlated to? And then a lot of times right now, we're going to look at the first three, because those are those places in our body of being safe, being wanted, being real. They're going to impact us generally there. And we must become aware before we can manage them. We must become aware or they'll run us. And as we become aware of that physical and emotional expression, don't jump to any false cause. Just move up, move up. Now allow yourself to move up into your heart chakra and ask for the wisdom of your higher self, your teaching angels. Go directly to Christ or Mother Mary, and certainly ask the angels by wrapping it in a basket, saying, I cannot handle this. I am at the source of this and I cannot see to resolve it or heal myself. And allow, be patient, allow the time for it, whether it's divine spirit, Christ, or an angel, to reveal the truth to you. Could be in a dream, could come in meditation or prayer. It may actually come to just one aha moment, and you'll feel the release of the energy. You'll feel the release. But trust that there's a process. Trust it's not just you. Begin to look at direction, commit to balance, allow grace, affirm it, be present to it, conscious of it in your body, your emotional body, your physical body. Then from that place, begin to affect whatever the external circumstances are, whatever the external noises. From that place, healing out, begin to affect those external circumstances. Do not bring them in. There is no answer out here, because out here is not true. Out here is a response. Yes, it's a response. This soup out here is a response to us losing our balance, losing our direction. Locate it inside yourself, and begin from this center, your third chakra. Begin from this center, raising your heart's energy up into words of love, affinity, appreciation, gratitude. And have your body, as it's affecting the external, begin affecting the external, coming from acts of service, generous acts of service, of giving, of meeting the needs of others. That, my folks, is not just healing. It restores you. It restores you. The sacred journey of life is dedicated to a purpose, a mission that offers you practical spirituality to put into your life. And we are committed to mystical attunements, having you actuate your own access to the divine. We offer that in the messages. We offer that in our chat room on Wednesday. We have a circle where we see, and as the teachers present, once you've raised your level of enlightenment, then those tools of you accessing, crossing the portal, become available to you, not the other way around. You have a trim tab. We each have a trim tab that can tune us in. And we want to get to that. We want to find out what that tuning is. And we're each different. We each have a different programming. In our social media, we're reflecting our point of view, meaning our point of view that supports our mission. Our website, once readied, was going to offer podcasts and essays to illuminate and inspire you and pull you out of unconsciousness. Our YouTube channel, which I'm being trained to manage better actually this week, will have classes, and not just from me. We have a lot of teachers that we associate with. We're going to offer classes that are going to, again, be there and be available for you once you're a subscriber and once you've paid for the course to review it, to give you, again, some consistent access to this place of restoration, discovery. So please watch our page. I want to remind you again that we are having personal retreats. We're offering 24-hour retreats. I want to get clear to you what those are. That's an opportunity for you to work one-to-one on with me to get really located in where you are in your spiritual path. What's missing, what's wanted, what's needed, and actually give yourself this place to acknowledge yourself. The experience I want you to have is one of enlightenment and discovery, but peace, centered. And I'm going to be doing this because I'm going to see what your story is. I'm going to look at your charts. I'm going to look at the numerology in your life. I'm going to look at where your north node is. I'm going to look at your aura. And we're going to do a before and after aura check. There'll be healings that'll be possible for you and readings that'll actually guide you as you move into your future. There's plenty of opportunity. There's only 5 people have committed to specific dates. The only day we will not be doing it will be Sundays. But it's available now, and it's a pilot project for only the next 3 months as I take this on. And I expect it, out of the gift of you honoring me with your time, to raise my levels of teaching, of reaching out. And also in the end of November, December, we're going to offer my Vision Quest class. And that will be in person, and that has 5 people who participate. And it is actually a class where we actually create a vision board, but not like what you think, not like what you think. And I'll appreciate it if the people who did it last year will post some testimonials as to what the value was for them. But I thought of it once before as like an end of the year, beginning of the year, and it really is not that. How it deeply impacted people was the beginning of seeing, the beginning of aha, the beginning of oh. And I was moved by the discoveries people had in it. So we're going to be offering that class too at the John F. Singer Mansion. And at some point in time, hopefully, my intention is to actually have that up online too. The classes are going to get delivered on YouTube. So, donations please to the Sacred Journey of Life, to our PayPal address, which is Sacred Journey of Life 2020. Yeah, this is the year we need to make it. At gmail.com. And I ask you to watch the page for events. I will personally announce them as they're coming up, and will definitely post them as to any details. And the phone number and our email is in our page. You can always leave messages or private message me if there's something you're interested in, or if there's something you need, so that I can focus, gather together, and locate a resource for you. Okay? So thank you. Steelers play at 1. I say they win by 14. That's what I say. Okay? We'll see. Anyway, I love you. Namaste.